Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game 2 of the Baby Shlark and Lanaya del Rey series of
Yep.
Learn Dota 2 League Season 12. If for some reason you're only watching Game 2, I'm Anani. This is Randy. Last time, it's a really nice way you can say that Lanaya del Rey got absolutely mauled.
Oh yeah, I mean it's pretty objective. There's nothing mean about saying what happened.
This time, Lanaya definitely needs to be pulling out a completely different anything. Anything they can do that's not what they did last time would be a market improvement. Let's see how this goes down. Oh, once again, this is a replay. If you didn't know, sorry we're not doing this live.
Alright. Respect Van Visage?
Absolutely, you gotta get rid of that Visage. I gotta get rid of that Weaver again. Very interesting.
Alright.
Somebody on Lanaya del Rey definitely must like that weird pause 4 or 5 Weaver thing that's been popular recently.
Ag Scepter Weaver.
Yeah. You know, if you want a personal gripe, I do think people are putting too much stock in it. You know,
5 seconds
even before the nerf, I think there were just a few too many answers to it that people were really considering. You know,
Potentially.
and yeah, very similar crop of bans this time. Luckily, they switched sides, so there's no question this is a different game. But
Yep.
very similar crop of bans. Notably, the Rubik ban might once again mean that we might be seeing another Medusa.
10 seconds
Maybe.
remaining.
I mean there's other things that I would think of first when I think of Rubik counters.
That's
Or
true, but
people that Rubik counters is what I meant to say.
I meant in the context of, you know, it's, what they did for it last time.
Radiant team pick.
That's
There
true.
goes Snapfire.
Alright.
What does a Snapfire ban mean? Phoenix, perhaps?
Means someone that likes standing still during fights.
Could be a Phoenix pick, because, you know, Snapfire just
Yeah.
insta-kills Phoenix and ult.
10 seconds
Could mean,
remaining.
like a
Undying.
Bane, any sort of channeling ult. Undying.
5
Well, not
seconds
Undying
remaining.
quite so much, because, you know, Undying
Kills
can
his tomb.
be,
Dire
yeah,
team pick.
kills his tomb. It's gonna be hard getting there, though.
That's true. That's true.
Got a first pick on the Dazzle here
Of the
on Baby
Dazzle,
Shlark.
yep.
Looks like they might be running back to play again of the Dazzle Sand King combination. Notably, Lanaya
10
del Rey did not
seconds
do
remaining.
anything to prevent that
Dire
this
team
time.
pick.
Jakiro out.
Shoutouts to Pohohoro. It's Jakiro.
Yep.
Playing on the scene here. It's a different pick. It's a good start. Jakiro is pretty much always at least a nice utility to have.
10 seconds
He is a
remaining.
very one-trick pony. He really just does a lot of magic damage and not a lot else, but
Radiant team pick.
is something that it just forces the enemy to think about.
Pressure
Speaking
tower
of,
as well.
right. Well, he still does that with magic damage. I mean, more in the context
That's
of the
true.
fight. Speaking of does a lot of magic damage and not a lot else, Earth Spirit, who does a lot of magic damage, but also has the advantage of silencing you. That's about
10
all he
seconds
does.
remaining.
Got some nice stuns too.
5 seconds remaining.
I suppose, but you don't pick Earth Spirit for that, really. It's just more of a nice little
Radiant
benefit,
team
isn't it? Once again, we got Lifestealer on
Run it
Baby
back.
Shlark.
Dire team back.
You know, there's no harm in running it back when the last game ended like 40-5.
Right.
It's 35-5 to be fair, but still.
Right, Lifestealer here is definitely a big morale buster for Lanaya. Given how poorly they fared
10
against
seconds
Lifestealer in the
remaining.
last battle, seeing him again this early, it's very,
5 seconds
just
remaining.
cannot feel good looking at that. Putting some thought into this ban here, I think Lanaya has now figured out that Baby Shlark is going to pick the exact same lineup if they aren't stopped. So,
Yeah.
they're thinking right now, who's the linchpin? Who is the reason that last game went like that?
Sniper.
It is Sniper. But then there's the idea of, but you can counterpick Sniper. Who on that other lineup
Radiant
was just,
team
you know, the guy you just couldn't deal with? Knocking out a Void Spirit, though. They're figuring that we're not going to see another sniper, it seems.
Yep, figuring they're not gonna run it back.
Might be a dangerous
10
assumption. So
seconds
far, it
remaining.
really does look like they're going to pick an identical comp.
5 seconds remaining.
You go back to what works, you know? You go back to what works, and that absolutely worked out for him. I will say this much, in the changed
team
context of this different lineup here, a Void Spirit pick on Radiance certainly would be interesting.
Right.
Once again, I believe Luna was was banned in this position last time. We have a straight
10
list of
seconds
bans
remaining.
here for Baby Shlark.
5 seconds remaining.
And once again, Lanaya del Rey dipping into their reserve times for these bans. They are really, you know, at the very least, to their credit, they are not saying, okay, we have no chance. They are saying, they're putting every thought, every brain cell into, we got to climb out of this
Radiant
hole. We're in a
team back.
big hole right now. We need to make absolute sure it does not get any bigger. Does not get any better for them. They're putting a lot of stock into these bans. They're putting a lot of stock into this this
Dire
phase.
team ban.
Get rid of the Morphling.
Got a Windrunner ban on Baby Shlark's part this time, which isn't that surprising. It's a I don't believe they banned them. I don't believe they banned Windrunner last time, but Windrunner is a
10
pretty
seconds
clear-cut
remaining.
counter pick to Life Stealer. Just not somebody
Yep.
he can deal with very easily.
5 seconds remaining.
Dipping into that
Alright.
reserve time again for these bans, they are really going to stretch this
Dire team
big phase as long as possible.
Th-
Ultimately
there goes
knocked out that
sniper.
sniper, yep. Actually knocked out a lot of really good mids here. Old US Danny is going to be looking at far fewer options, especially for how this game would logically go in comparison to the last game.
10
Yep.
seconds
Things might be
remaining.
different this time.
Radiant team pick.
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker has a lot to say about that that type of mid that Baby Shlark was running last time.
Yep.
So they're really thinking a lot about that mid. They're really putting it on
10
old
seconds
snipers at this time.
And our Earth Spirit
5
also is
seconds
very good at ganking mid lane.
Right. You want to make absolute sure that that disaster that last game's meant for them never happens again.
Which is fair, you know, it's a fair draft strategy after that.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It's what you would do. You would be crazy not to do it. You must do it. You can't let that happen
Yeah,
to you.
just prop up your mid player. Get him a better game, you know?
Right. Change as many variables as possible here. Make absolute sure that this time things are different. I like Earth Spirit's big gaudy green belt buckle.
I like how he's like smoking.
I don't know why, that's funny to me.
Radiant
There's
team
no logical reason that's funny to me. Maybe I've been up a little long. Slardar, Life Stealer and Dazzle's a really nasty combination. That's two guys
Classic
that
Life
get
Stealer combo.
rid of like 1,000,000 of your armor, and then Life Stealer who can just come in and beat the hell out of you. Plus, Slardar also
10 seconds
great guy
remaining.
for Life Stealer to be jumping into. Can go a long way. He's gonna get that blink,
5 seconds
and
remaining.
it's just not somebody you want to see. Also goes really
the-
well with Slardar's new shard.
Yep, that's what I was kind of mentioning. Just a classic, you know, bread and butter Life Stealer combo. Maybe the only more classic is Spirit Breaker.
Right, or Furion. Furion Life Stealer is also a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
it's alright.
Oh, and IO Stealer. That's always fun, you know?
Yep.
IO teleports somebody else, you just jump out of them.
Right, it's basically just like 3/5 of a Dark Rift.
If only that old Lifestealer Eggs where you could just like eat somebody else's still in. So you could just
Yeah,
have
Punch has
4/5. Yeah, yeah. You could have 4/5 of a of a Dark Rift. Or you could have Pudge eat somebody, Lifestealer jump and Pudge, and then
7.
IO.
Oh.
There we go. Ogre Magi. They thought a long time before they picked up that Ogre. It's not a bad guy to have. I think he's going to be struggling a bit against Night Stalker if Night Stalker goes particularly well for them. But
Yep.
doesn't really matter that much if he's
10
getting...
seconds
Because, you know, any
remaining.
support in that position really would. Any support's going to be struggling against Night Stalker, so
5
you shouldn't really
seconds
be picking
remaining.
with that in mind, but... Jeez, they really are pretty confident about the rest of these picks and bans on old Baby Shlark. They have
Yeah.
completely ran out of reserve time here. Lanaya del Rey not very far behind. They're already under a minute here.
Very long draft, very in-depth.
Yeah, yeah. They're absolutely. I mean, it's good that Schlark is taking this seriously. It would be a traumatic, it would be an embarrassing mistake to get complacent in this game. You can't do that. You absolutely can't do that. If you get complacent, then you'll just see that exact same number in reverse, and you'll just be sitting there embarrassed.
So it seems we have an
10
Ember Spirit mid.
seconds remaining.
That's what I would guess.
Spirit is mid.
Dire team ban.
Which means there's a slot open for a safe lane carry on Lanaya del Rey.
2 spirits on Dire.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah.
But bans are mids. Could
For some
Ember
reason.
be one?
No. It's like kind of unheard of in any professional games.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Maybe the unheard of strategy is the way forward here then. Sorry I couldn't do that
Potentially.
in 4 words. I think you
Dire
could
team
see it.
ban.
I think there is actually maybe closer to an equal chance for 1 or 2 for Ember than you might
Radiant
think.
team pick.
There goes a Monkey King.
Alright.
I will also say, you know, that is also 2 people who can mess Ember Spirit up kind of bad at mid. So it's hard to say. It's hard to say they're banning for Ember Spirit or banning for whoever the 5th is going to be.
10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick.
Ooh,
Hey,
Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker. Oh, Ocelot would be happy. He's always talking about how nobody thinks about Bloodseeker anymore.
It's a classic Earth Spirit counter. Classic Night Stalker counter.
Also messes up Ember Spirit in quite a lot of ways.
Yep.
Basically
10
makes that he's
seconds remaining.
restricted to his ult to move around, which means that he cannot
5
effectively
seconds
be he cannot like keep an escape card in his pocket. He either has to use it or abandon it.
Right.
They also have plenty of CC. You have Slardar, you have Ogre. Lifestealer is invariably going to build a Basher. Dazzle has both Poison Touch and is invariably going to build a Shard if this game goes on long enough. So you're not going to have to worry about people just TPing out of Rupture. Unless Bloodseeker is
Right.
totally alone. Also
And
goes
even
well
if
with
so,
Lifestealer.
he could build himself a Basher if he needs it.
Right. Also goes well with Lifestealer. It's
Yeah,
a
it
lot of
does.
synergy in this comp. The only guy who kind of sticks out here is Ogre Magi. And even then, he's not such an oddball pick that he's going to really do anything to the comp. And
1
finally
second
got
remaining,
Ursa.
they go with the Ursa.
The last
Yep,
second
Ember
Ursa.
mid.
What do you think of the last second Ursa here?
I like it. I like the Ursa against Lifestealer and Bloodseeker because, you know, if he ruptures you just press R and it doesn't bother you.
Yeah, Ursa is going to have to be somewhat careful about what he builds. Because if he builds the wrong thing, he can easily turn himself from a Lifestealer counter into countered by Lifestealer. Like, if you build
Yeah,
a hard on
potentially.
Ursa in a game like this, he's just going to beat the shit out of you. Just heal 1,000,000 health every time he hits you.
Yep.
The biggest problem Ursa's gonna have is how the hell is Ursa gonna get up to anybody? They got so much kite. It's gonna
Yeah,
be
they have a lot of kite.
it's gonna be really hard for him. There's gonna be a lot riding on Jakiro here. On
I mean,
Jakiro
it's
on
4
our
melee
Spirit.
heroes, but it's 4 fast melee heroes, aside from maybe the ogre.
Right. They got 4 melee heroes versus 4 melee heroes actually.
This is true, but Ember, Earth Spirit, and I would say Night Stalker too have pretty decent reach.
Right. So on
Whereas
the other hand,
only ogre really has that equivalent amount of reach. Bloodseeker
Right.
does too, to a degree, but the other two you pretty much have to be straight up in someone's face.
The biggest problem is that the kite that they have isn't necessarily going to be attack based, you know. Slardar just uses an ability, walks away. Bloodseeker just ruptures you, you know, all that sort of thing. Also, Bloodseeker is going to be their mid, which
Yeah.
I should have thought, you know, but that didn't really occur to me until I saw that. I noticed Salizi last game was anti-mage. Probably didn't
Right.
go mid, I bet.
Alright, here we
for
go,
battle.
game 2.
Good luck and have fun. Good luck and
A
have
flash
fun.
of inspiration.
A flash of inspiration. You know, Ember Spirit, it would be really thematically appropriate for Ember Spirit to have a good luck, have fun line.
That's true. But when would he say it?
Apparently Slardar thinks it's really funny. Maybe it could just be like a chat wheel exclusive sort of thing.
Oh wow.
It's kind of weird to me how there are no chat wheel exclusives. I guess it is asking a lot to get somebody in the recording studio to do something for just the chat wheel, but on the other hand, how many unused lines are there already? You could recycle a few of them. At
Yeah,
least.
that's true. I'm sure there's at least a couple.
30 seconds to battle.
Surely, right?
Oh, my favorite one is Sad Whistle.
How does that one go again?
I don't know, I've never heard it. I just like the idea of it.
I just like the idea. I'm a big fan of sad whistling.
Yeah.
Dyer kind of wants to try and fight for a rune here, but not much. So it almost looks
Yeah.
like Dyer is willing to just give up the runes here.
The battle
No.
begins.
That's
Yep.
4. Definitely deadly. Oh, Ember. No.
They do ultimately at least reach out and get the southern.
Shakira's dead, it seems. Nope, he's
Goes
dead.
down to Life Stealer, no less. That's not a great way to start for old Lanaya.
It's a good Earth Spirit set.
It is a pretty good Spirit set. I like this little encounter here. Both guys just sitting there beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
Night Stalker's like, stop that, but Lifestealer doesn't listen. This he has rolling boulder,
got
right?
roll.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's just out of here. Okay. He was never in that much danger to begin with, or at least Dyer assumed. Anyway. That's
Not sure.
easy. Bit of
Seem to
trouble
be
here.
going. Yeah.
Don't think he's gonna die here.
No.
Got out in time.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
US Danny knows what to
Yeah,
do now,
that's,
just pressure this guy constantly.
This might be a little bad for Earth Spirit. Nope, he's getting away again. Jeez.
They don't have the
Luckiest
reach.
man in the world. Yeah, they don't have the reach and oh,
And well,
alright.
Yep.
They don't have the reach and Night Stalker very wisely made Lifestealer just start body blocking Ogre Magi with that slow. It was very well timed on his part.
Right.
Pull up this chart here.
They put Ogre safe lane rather than the range support again.
Yeah, they did.
Kind of strange to me. Especially in
It's
this
the
game, like
opposite
at least
team.
At least in the last game, you know, Axe and Grimstroke are a good lane combo. Ogre Lifestealer is like, it's nothing special, you know?
Yeah. And the benefit of the Slardar Dazzle lane, like they don't really go so well together. It's not game breaking to have the comp like this, but it's probably not the most ideal thing in the world. I think they're just I think they just want to play their safe lane like a soft core off lane. They just want to try and go for kills here rather than necessarily just farm.
Yeah, potentially.
Or at least just deny Night Stalker rather as much as possible any ability to do much. Which is kind of a valid idea, kind of a valid way to go about things, but it does mean that Ursa is going to be under much less pressure. You know, Ursa already has more last hits this game than he did at the end of lane phase in the last game.
Yep.
Oh.
Definitely wanted Dazzle there, but Dazzle did not let him have it. And, he's going to be losing a lot of HP.
Oh boy.
Oh, he might be, yeah, he's dead.
Yep.
And his buddy might be going next.
It's fine.
Slizzy just got a kill on US Danny, finally.
Yeah,
Finally turned it around on him.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Good on you, Slizzy. You know, getting one over on that guy's got to feel at least a little bit good, even if he did spoil in the process. Doing a million times better than the last game, so it is a notable improvement. He has pulled the nose up to quite a big degree.
Yep.
I don't think Dire were expecting the Ember Spirit quite so much, and I think they might have undervalued him, perhaps based on his performance in the last game, though. Oh,
Radiant's middle tower
Just gonna
is
get
under
each other
attack.
to 10% HP again.
yep. Notably, Sleazy has a bottle here. Bloodseeker does not. He's gonna get more off of the heal here.
Right.
Chase
Doesn't
gun
really
on.
need one.
Going anywhere though.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh
This
boy.
could be bad.
That
He's
tagged
real
him.
low. Nope. Does not want to go for the finish there. Cannot blame him. That did not look great.
Yep.
Earth Spirit's coming in. He's looking for this gank on Bloodseeker here at mid.
It's a classic Earth Spirit play.
Nobody's here
Very
for
good.
him. Nobody's at mid for him to gank for, and Ogre found him.
It's a little
Well,
sad.
this is awkward. And he's ruptured. He's
ruptured.
got
Oh,
nowhere
boy.
to go but away. Because
Okay.
Ogre started with that stun. Might have been a bad
Yep.
idea.
Alright, good. Not
That was-
good, and they wasted a bunch of his time. But
Yeah, he
good
wasted a
to
lot of
escape.
his time, but he also wasted the first rupture of the game, which
Sure.
is perhaps even bigger than anything he actually could have done as far as like trying to get a kill goes.
Now that Ember's level 6, he can match sustain with Bloodseeker by just leaving the lane. Oh, Poison Touch.
Yeah, Poison Touch gets a casual kill on Ursa, which isn't terribly great. It's like we might be seeing a kill on Takiro here.
Sure
The,
looks like it.
The Dazzle
Dash.
heal doesn't
Yep.
get him, but the Slardar just outpaces him around the tower, and Takiro goes down. Nobody was ready or too willing to go bail him out of that one. Once again, we have some funny business happening here at mid. Now Ogre wants to be the one to try and get the kill on Ember Spirit. He's the ganking one now, but he's so low leveled, I don't think he's going to get anything here even on his best day. It's the lowest level in the server right now, I believe. Yeah, tied for it with... oh no, Earth Spirit is
Earth Spirit's
actually
level
lower.
2.
Now he's tied for it again.
A tool to teach.
Oh, Ember.
Radiant's middle tower is under
This
attack.
is,
Not getting much here. They're
Yeah,
just gonna straight up walk away from him.
absolutely nothing happening kind of gank.
Trying to just reset, go back to mid.
Yep. Bloodseeker does not allow Ember Spirit to get anything done coming out of spawn. wasn't great because he ended up, as a result, using about half of his mana pool in the process. Now Bloodseeker is just decided to start hitting the side camp here. Which says to me he's probably more or less
Oh,
done.
boy.
Dazzle in a little bit of trouble here. He's got that shell
We
ring
can't get
up,
him.
very good time. And they do not have the confidence to keep chasing him out there. Slizzy getting some harass down on Bloodseeker here. It's a very big change for him that he's he's not spilling this time, but notably he is still on the lower side of the charts in last hits. It's a step
Right.
forward at the very least, so it's progress. He is learning Dota 2 League.
He's learning the ways to learn Dota 2 League.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
I don't know if Slardar meant to ult that random range creep, but he did.
And that was a pretty good usage of the laugh quote, actually.
Ursa
may not
realized,
be too funny in a second. Oh boy.
Oh no!
God.
Oh my god, that
Rich.
that Ursa ult.
Said.
Yeah, that
Oh.
Ursa ult just completely
He's gonna
saved
go
him
for
out
it.
there. Oh, he's not gonna
Turn
let this
around the
go.
Rosie.
And
Yep.
with the support of Dazzle, Ursa gets knocked out there. Though Slardar might die for this, especially if anyone shows up here. No, actually, in
No.
fact, not only is Slardar not gonna die, he's turning right around. He is saying, the hell with you, Jakiro. Wow. Absolute Chad. Absolute Chad move right there.
Oh boy.
Very brave of him. It's Night
Wins
Stalker
his-
o'clock, and Ogre Magi ends up paying for it.
Okay, they're gonna get a couple kills here, I think.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Oh,
Ursa
don't
shows
let it get
up.
away.
Ursa shows up. He's the wrong man to be fighting in this gang squad. Bloodseeker shows up, gets a rupture on Ursa. Lifesteal wants to make another fight. Maybe he jumped out of that creep a little early, though. Doesn't
Oh.
matter. He's fine. He is absolutely just fine. Body blocks his buddy, though, so they miss the kill on Night Stalker. That's not great, but that's far from the worst thing that could have happened here.
On the outset, this looks like a similar game to last game, but it actually isn't that much. In the last game, the mid was hemorrhaging. In this game, the side lanes are hemorrhaging.
Notably, as well, even though the side lanes are hemorrhaging, they're still doing far better for last hits and denies as much as that matters. They're still doing
Yep.
far better for last hits compared to last game, so their hemorrhaging does not need quite as much, especially with a later game-oriented team. And I would certainly say that that Lanaya's got the
Ursa
far
and
better
Spirit,
early
yeah.
game. Yeah. Okay.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Double damage. For the twins.
It's a mental move.
All right. Well, that was an interesting little encounter there at the
Dire's
bot
top
room.
tower is under attack.
Oh, the courier. Oh no, he didn't get it. He lost confidence.
Jakiro actually went down off screen there.
Dire's top tower
Yeah,
is under
ruptured, I
attack.
assume.
You can really
Oh,
tell how
they're
different this
working
game
on
is going
Ember.
from the up. This is not great for Ember. They did not have Rupture up for that, so he's going to be
Yep.
fine. You can really tell the difference in how this lane is going. Oh, Ogre actually might be in a spot of trouble here. Though Bloodseeker is more than willing to bail him out.
Yep.
So I was trying to say there, you can tell how different this game is going by the gold differential here. You know, the gold differential is actually not too bad. They're only 2k up on Baby Shlark here,
Right.
which is a bit of a far cry from where they were at the last game. And it's not like Baby Shlark has been playing poorly. They have made a few mistakes. I do think they're being a little bit more careless this game than they were at the start of the last one. But, oh. There's another kill for the Dire, actually. It's just that,
Ursa.
Lanaya del Rey has started to, you know, pull the nose up, has figured out what they need to do. That was a
Oh,
bad mess on that rolling boulder, man. That was one that I bet that guy would rather have taken back. Oh, no, Slardar is going nowhere. That's another kill for
Sure is.
Lanaya. Neither is
Oh,
Ogre.
got him.
Ogre is dead as hell.
Alright, good. Good rolling boulder.
Very, very good for the Dire there. That was a great encounter. That brought the gold differential down to just 1k difference. Mercier wants to fight Lifestealer here. It's just the wrong guy to try and go for him, but this is
They're
the
beating
right
him.
guy.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, it is a free escape button, so.
Dire's middle tower
yep, they
is
have
under attack.
nothing to say about the Lifestealer creep. They just can't they just can't pace up with it. They can't stun it. They can't do anything.
Dire's
Earth
middle
Spirit
tower
does
is
not want to
under
let
attack.
this tier 1 go. He is willing to
Dire's
sit here and
structures
just
are fortified.
bash away all day if it means that Radiant does not take this T1 mid.
Ember Spirit agrees. They're both spirits, so I'm not surprised they're agreeing on this. Oh,
Speaking of agree on this, they definitely agree. They want Ogre
Magnetize.
Magi dead. The Shell of Grave was a bit early, but didn't really matter too much. It was a decent magnetize, just had no follow-up to speak of, unfortunately for him.
Dire's
Yep.
bottom tower is under attack.
I gotta protect my tower. Roar!
Got a farm.
I always like the Ursa, the shockwave on like the creep casually. I mean, it's not like it's a bad thing to do. You're not really losing much using it. It just always looks really silly, and that amuses me. Not a great rupture there. Just basically just ruptured Earthshaker to stop the chase, but I don't think he was really in much danger anyway. Again, very casually using some of these ruptures, which will be to his
Dire's
detriment
top tower
if
is under attack.
he kind of keeps up there. Again,
Yep.
like maybe an element of underestimation here from Baby Shlark so far. The place is here. Sleazy
Okay,
in a lot
John
of
is done
trouble.
with the illusion rune. I don't know if that was intentional, but
Yeah, it was good. Sleazy started this fight off great, but unfortunately, oh, no. Slardar does die. The Shell of Grave is not leveled very highly, so he is out, he is down. Zazzle has nothing left to defend himself with, goes off. Ogre Magi also down.
oh god.
Baby Shlark lose 3. Lanaya del Rey lose nothing. That has to be a wake-up call. That has to absolutely be a wake-up call for Baby Shlark. And if they don't take it as a wake-up call, it's going to go very badly for them very quickly. Lanaya del Rey showing that they are not a pushover. Last game was not a proper advertisement of their abilities by any stretch.
You know what? I'm gonna say that illusion rune dodge was intentional, because if you're watching this, I know you want me to. So it was intentional.
If you're, I mean, we said a lot. We buried the hell out of you last game, so there you go. We're not gonna withhold credit when it's time to give credit. You know, we're fair here. If you mess up, we'll call it. If you do well, we'll call it. You did well. Good job. Good job, Sleazy. Sleazy.
Slizzy.
Can you change your name though? I don't want to keep calling you Sleazy. That just sounds mean. But why not like Chet. There we go. LDR Chet.
Dire's bottom tower
Yeah.
is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Looking at the bot T1 once again. Those bot T1s are very popular this time of year.
Dire's
are.
bottom tower
That's
has fallen.
the second tower that goes down after the T1 at top for Dire. Notably, even though LDR definitely starting to turn this around as far as the
Dire's
combat portion of
bottom
this
tower
go,
is under attack.
the Baby
I'm gonna
Shlark
blow. Ursa, I would imagine. But
got a lot of things happening to Slardar here. I think more than he can really mess
Radiant's
with.
top tower is under attack.
The both teams are kind of
Oh boy,
getting
US
spoiled
City.
for choice as far as who to go for. Splitting up into two different sort of sub fights.
Radiant's
But
top
Lifestealer is saying, hey, wait a minute, why am I going after just a hero alone? I gotta get back in here. Goes after Ursa. He is all over Ursa and gets him all the way out. but also takes out Earthspear very casually on the way there. Gets a nice double for himself, and it's like Lanaya del Rey is back on the menu for Baby Shlark. They just took 3 of them out, losing none of their own.
Great ogre stun to start that out. I think Bloodseeker would have died and they would have accomplished nothing if that ogre stun didn't go out the second that it did.
And
oh
no,
he's gone.
no poison touch.
Life Stealer, really?
Poison touch was there. They are desperate. They are
Oh my lord,
all
he's
over
going.
Ember Spirit, but nope. Life Stealer says, hey, maybe this is a bad idea actually.
Yeah, might have been. Oh, he's gonna get kicked back.
Yep, he is right back in there, and he is dead for it. Respect the Pouch has been disrespected himself. Earth Spirit dies for his sins, but so does Slardar. Ends up being a definitive, easy to just clear-cut victory for the Dire there in that little skirmish. It's a very back-and-forth scenario right now. Now they're going to take Roche for it.
Yep. Although Lifestealer does have enough gold for Halberd. Oh, they're fighting this. Fighting this pretty successfully. Oh my. Yeah.
Just wasn't the time to take Roche. So now Roche will in fact go to them.
Yep.
That that was not good. That was not good call for LDR. Unfortunately, they trying to Roche with Bloodseeker was a mistake. I think they just assumed he was still going to be down for a while or had to back, but no, Bloodseeker can go from 0 to full really quickly. If he's not dead, assume he's basically full.
Yep, same as Slurk in that way.
Right. So to that end, yeah, that wasn't great. Pretty much, in fact, that pretty much just kind of totaled the gains that they had from that last fight. Like the 2 little, really the like 3 fight sequence leading up to that, it kind of totaled their gains from that. That was not fantastic, unfortunately. It's very good.
No, they have to play against the Aegis as well.
Yeah, very good call and turnaround by the Radiant there as well. Definitely, there would definitely be teams out there who would just say, no, that's too risky, we aren't going to go for it, but they seized the day, they seized that advantage, they went for it. So brave play. Was a bit of a risk, but it's very high reward and worked out for them. Now they get to fight in the enemy jungle. But Dire has no desire for this.
Disengage.
They do not want to fight anywhere right now except under a tower, basically.
Lifestealer is picking up a satanic.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
You're right, he sure is. He's
Wow.
going straight for maximum lifesteal potential here. He also has a possessed mask. He just wants to be stealing as much life as possible. He's kind of banking on, I think, on Ursa and Night Stalker just building themselves up to be as tanky as physically possible.
Dire's top tower
Yeah.
has fallen.
Smoke maneuver.
We're really gonna find
Straight
anybody.
for mid.
Everybody is
Is under attack.
a little too far gone. They got Ember Spirit here, but
Can
we got the
easily
Rupture
escape.
on him.
Oh.
But
Done.
he's gone. No, he ain't going
Oh
anywhere. That
my.
was a great timing. Great timing on that Slardar stun, and he is gone.
Oh. Well played.
Never has that line been more appropriate. Slardar really did go a long damn way to see that man die. That was quite the journey for that Slardar there. A great stun time, fantastically.
Good vision of him.
Now they just want to scare everybody off as they just casually take this tower and the outpost there as well.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Yep,
Ursa's
a lot of map
realized-
control.
Ursa's realized, I think, the major gap that his team has as far as map control goes, as far as objectives goes, and tries to rat down here, but he does not have the heart to keep it going. Probably shouldn't have. It probably was a pretty good idea to get out of there. Dire are, they're trying to turn it back, or Radiant are trying to turn it back around on him by cutting the creep waves off here and trying to put the equilibrium back in their favor, but they got a long time before that wave gets there, especially does not have a catapult at the very least. Still, they're gonna keep just throwing it out, which means they're gonna have a big old wave down here. While Ember Spear's just gonna casually just start farming the lanes that get pushed up to them.
Invisibility.
It does mean they're gonna definitely have to do something with this lane equilibrium. The worst thing you could possibly have is just a bunch of undefended giant waves.
Oh boy.
Slardar in a bit of trouble here. No, he's gonna be fine. Comes Lifestealer. Takes her spirit out. Does not want to block the rolling boulder with his face, so he gets away with it. BKB up on Slardar, that could definitely mean quite a few things here. There's a lot of stuns and slows and all that sort of thing that just got nulled. On the other hand, we got a Basher up on Night Stalker, which is going to make him pretty scary to deal with when the actual night falls, especially for those supports on the Radiant. Night Stalker,
oh, never mind, his Lifestealer in the Satanic.
Night Stalker so far has been pretty, he's getting his own BKB. He's been pretty tough on the Radiant as a whole. And I do not expect that the way he's building is going to be anything but helping that.
I have a Veil too. On Radiant. Summon Ogre.
Oh, Dire charging right in here. They want Slardar all over, but they are not going to get him. He's going to pop his 9-second BKB. Got Lifestealer, very casually just picked off Lifestealer, but Slardar is really turning things around on them. His BKB just went down though, and he got absolutely melted. Loss so small the world will hardly notice. Completely superfluous buyback on Earth Spirit, but
that was a pretty big loss right
yeah,
there.
Yeah, that was a huge loss. That was 1 for 4, and the one they lost was just a support. They got 2 of their 3 cores, 2 big guys there. The only thing they're missing was Bloodseeker, and at this point, you can't even ask. You can't be even asking for that, or just being greedy. Bloodseeker does get himself a Basher at the very least. He's not going to be relying on other people, so now all 5 people on Radiant have a stun.
Lifestealer died shockingly quickly there.
Yeah, he sure did. The problem with the Uber Lifesteal build on a character like Lifestealer, funnily enough, the problem with the Uber Lifesteal build on this guy is you're missing out on a lot of attack speed. So if the guys that you're beating up aren't themselves HP balloons, you really don't have anything else to go off of. You've got no armor outside of the trifle the armlet gives you. You've got not much attack speed to work with either, except again, what the armlet gives you. You're really kind of working at half capacity offensively, which means that you better have that sustain, and they're just not really building the things that would give them the sustain. The Skull Basher, it's 10 strength. That's a lot of HP, but that's not like an HP item, right? Oh.
And a Blink Dagger will do nothing whatsoever to make him tankier.
Yeah, casually picking off Jakiro here in the jungle, who's just dying trying to take back the outpost. Not a bad objective to try and go for here, in fairness, because you really need that XP as much as possible. If you look at the level spread, you know, see Dire is just consistently behind. Even Ursa is still 2 levels down compared to Bloodseeker, for example. Which at this point in the game isn't great. It ain't great, you know. So maintaining at least basic control of that outpost is a good start for them. Though spelling for it, not quite as good. Bloodseeker's looking for the first half of his name here. He is really being appropriate to his moniker, but finds really nothing he wants to take. In fact, now it's Night Stalker who's living up to his own name, stalking him. Or he's coming together on this. But maybe they saw it coming. They're just gonna get Dazzle for this. To spend as much time as possible in Dazzle, actually. Bloodseeker getting Jakiro on the back of the line. Slardar assisting. That's not good. The big rupture there on Night Stalker takes away most of his HP before the fight even begins. The Slardar just instantly eats it. This is a big magnetize. Gets Bloodseeker and Slardar killed, both of them. Earth Spirit finally going down.
Great magnetize.
Not Bloodseeker and Slardar killed, but gets Night Stalker Or, yeah, Bloodseeker and Slardar kill. What am I saying? Great magnetize, very good magnetize. It just forces Lycio, the one man left, to just completely back off. And after a while of kind of being down, put them well back on the map. Though Ursa is unwilling to pursue anything more here, he is looking at going to top. Okay, I thought he was going to be looking at going to Roche, but Roche isn't spawning for a little while. I believe he has the longest possible respawn timer right now, which is probably not what Ursa wants to see, but he's not really looking at that anyway.
That 7K gold lead is going down.
Yeah, it's a big turnaround for the Radiant, or for the Dire. It's exactly what they wanted to see. That last fight went perfectly for them. The one downside is that because that was a dieback for Earth Spirit, he's going to be down for a long time. You know, he's only just came back up, which is, you know, not terribly good for a level 13 support. He was down forever, but he's back now, and that's the important thing.
Invisibility.
It's interesting here. This is a lot more evenly matched of a game than it feels like it should be, especially in comparison to the last game. The big difference here, I think, is the guys that Dire picked, or not the guys that Dire picked, the guys that Radiant picked, are just not the type of heroes that really matched the playstyle that they brought the last game, and they started at the very least on that same playstyle. They're definitely going to have to change things up a little bit if they want to get that lead back.
Right.
And make no mistake, they are still in the lead. They're in an XP lead, they're in a gold lead, but it's a pretty short lead, and they do not have that late game team. Once again, they're going to have to be a little forceful here. They're going to have to be a little offensive here. They're going to have to seize the advantage while they still got it. They're smoking up now, which means they're definitely making a thought to doing something interesting.
Dire are scanning.
Unfortunately,
Roche.
that interesting thing was Roche, and they immediately got spotted the second they went for it.
It's
But,
going
they
down
got-
really fast though.
Yeah, they got such a big team for it, though, that they just killed him instantly. Bloodseeker's immortal again. That was not great for the Dire. They really, choosing not to fight them in there might have been a miscue. They're just too spread out, to be fair. They were really spread out, but, you know, a roll in and a magnetize could have at least scared them out, I think. You know? I know I would certainly just jump out if we get 5-man magnetize and maybe have like a Macropire popping in. Like, that's not a situation you want to be fighting. And sure, those two might go down for it, but at the very least, you've stopped the Roche attempt, or at least scared them out of it. You know, you've just forced them to go somewhere else. And potentially given Ursa the cause to just go in there and snipe it himself, you know? We'll see, though. Seems like right now, LDR's game plan is just wait for an engagement, go defensive, wait for a fight.
Yep.
On the other hand, it looks like BS is really not too interested in giving them one. Looks like BS is more focused right now on just trying to do what they did to finish the last game out, just make one concerted push with minimal fighting on the T3 here. But they do not have the comp to do that quite so well this time. Bloodseeker tries, you know, he starts off the same way, just trying to casually hit the T3 and ignoring everybody, but he barely gets any damage on it before he has to turn around.
Right. No, they just disengage.
Yep, they realize real quick, hey, that ain't gonna work. Lifestealer in particular just walked way the hell away. Sort of might be in a little danger, but I think Dire is overestimating the actual amount of enemy presence here. The opportunity on that might be lost. And I think they still have it. They're pretty much completely dispersing. Notably, Earth Spirit down bot has been putting the equilibrium against Radiant. They've had to
Yep.
use glyph to deal with that, which means they're not going to be able to glyph offensively. Smoke here. Now this could be something.
They do.
The only guy they're going to find, though, is Ogre Magi.
That Ogre's gonna tank it.
Unfortunate positioning for him to a degree, but very fortunate positioning at the same time. He just completely ate it instantly, but on the other hand, he completely ruined that smoke gank.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Get him. Well done, boys.
Well, there we go. We got Ogre Magi and Bloodseeker, or at least this little blue guy who looked just like him. You know, it would be really weird, right? Like, imagine you're just walking down the street. You're just in town, right? And you look into a restaurant, and you see some guy who's just sitting down, he's having his little meal. It's you. It's you, just, like, blue and kind of,
Yeah.
like, faded. Be
It's
quite
just like
strange,
a
right?
like a hologram is what I'm picturing when I think of illusions.
Right, right.
Just like
Oh, this is bad for Ursa. This is really bad for Ursa. He just had to run like a mile. Finally
BKB,
turning
but he's
around with
got shot.
BKB. Oh man, he got really lucky with some of those bashes. Ember Spirit's coming in now. He just had to
Oh,
withdraw
boy.
immediately. Kind of a conga line for the Dyers. Really not going great for them. Earth Spirit going down immediately. Has to buy back. Ember Spirit might be dead off the sides from that, but I kind of doubt it. And Ursa also just could not take the punishment. Had to settle down to the
no.
grave. He is out.
Good
No
for him.
buyback. Slardar versus
Good
Ember
chance.
Spirit off the sides, while Night Stalker tries to keep the rest of the Radiant busy. But that was probably not worth the life that he had to give up for it, as he gets multi-gasted. And yeah, that's to say the least. It's not the best thing that's ever happened to the Dire in this game. It's kind of looking like Radiant's going to have fairly free recourse, just casually take a set of racks now.
Dire's middle tower
They got
is
glyph
under
at
Ursa got
least.
caught out. Very unfortunate it happens.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That glyph actually did a lot more damage than perhaps we were expecting. Jakiro? Stop. Okay. Jesus.
Radiant's
Don't
top
scare me
tower
like
is
that,
under
man.
attack.
I'm gonna give you a casual warning right now, alright? If you just walk yourself to death while you're ruptured for no reason, I will make fun of you live on stream, so don't do that.
Nice.
I know it's Dota 2 League. I don't care. I'm a heartless bastard. Sorry. Oh yeah, that was a lot of wind coming out of the sails for Radiant there in very short order. Just every little bit of momentum they had leading up to that T3 tower. The second that
Dire?
glyph, no, I meant for Radiant. Yeah, when they went to that T3 tower
Yeah.
and that glyph came out,
All
all the wind comes out.
Thought you meant the fight when Ursa got picked.
I think it's actually probably more wind in their sails afterwards because, you know, Ursa got picked and they still won the uphill by like a mile.
Right.
Wind comes right out of those sails, all the momentum stops, and we're just right back to slower pace, which does not benefit the Radiant. It does not benefit them to having to be backing off, finishing items. Got to be leveling up. Got to be getting a little bit more for the next attempt. Does not suit their team very well. It's a far better suit for Dyers, if anything. Slardar wants to get a pick off here, but does not like what he sees. Just completely leaves immediately. Dyer's jumping on where they think he is, but nope, no Slardar here, unfortunately. So the classic scenario, I think, that both teams really desperately want the other guys to engage on them. Though looks like Dire might get their wish here, as Radiant smoking in once again. Gonna find Ember Spirit here. Ember
Oh,
Spirit
boy.
doesn't see it. He didn't see it coming at all. He just ate it immediately. Ursa walks in with BKB. Everyone's just kiting him around. He's getting bashed repeatedly. More or less the entire BKB is wasted. Ursa now just casually eating it. Ember Spirit buys back. He is real far away from this battle, though. He gets in right after the death of his brother.
Oh boy.
And now he gets to die through BKB casually.
Ultra kill.
Uh-oh.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Does he get the rampage?
Oh, he might, dude. He might. He's so close.
This
Nope.
rampage? Ah, sad.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Nope, he has no ability to
First
chase here. Fine.
rampage will not be today.
He doesn't need the rampage. He has something that makes well up for it. He has a T3 tower here.
Yep.
Dire's middle barracks are under attack.
Just a brief moment of looking away
Dire's middle barracks.
can do a lot of bad really quickly for you. That was I think it's quite to a degree a matter of poor luck. You know, sometimes you're just not going to be able to look at your own hero, and in that moment, Ember Spirit wasn't, and in that moment, it just all fell off there. I do think there was also, yep, Colin GG on Dire. I do think there was also, to a degree, a little bit of a mistake there made in trying to funnel in to try and bail him out there, because you know, you lose Ember Spirit, that's a tragedy. You lose everybody defending him, that's the game.
Yeah, and Ember could just buy back.
Yep. It's 2-0 for Baby Shlark, though. What an improvement for Lanaya del Rey between round 1 and 2. You know, that was a game where they arguably had, you know, if they had avoided some of these mistakes, which were pretty small mistakes, you know, it's not like damning things. If they had avoided some of these little pitfalls on the way there, I do think that was a game that was well in their favor, and that is a shocking turnaround for a team that got utterly rolled in round 1.
Yep.
It's got to be at least a little frustrating for them that there's no ability to have like a direct rematch here, because I feel like a round 3 for Lanaya would potentially go in their favor.
Hey, they might fight in the playoffs.
They could fight in the playoffs, but yeah. So to that end, there's a lot of good things to say about it. They acknowledged completely. Oh, Sleazy did what you were doing in the last game.
Sure
They
he
acknowledged completely that the strat from round 1 did not work, and they tried something completely different in round 2. You know, just using Night Stalker and the spirits as a way to try and lengthen the game for Ursa there, rather than trying to do the 4 protect 1 strategy, right? You know, which is it's a similar strategy, but there's a difference between like just buying space and buying time. And this
Right.
was more of a buying time than buying space strat for them. To that end, I think there was a lot of successes. There were some missteps. I think, funnily enough, and sorry to Pohohoro, I think the biggest misstep here might have been the Jakiro pick, because they never had anything that really went with it, and he really did not have much of an impact on the game. A couple of good ice paths at a few certain points, but you know, going more into the CC side of things, or going more into the damage side of things, would have been probably a little better here.
Yeah.
You know, going, like if they had snapped up Ogre immediately, they would have been
Your
5
lion or
melee,
something.
but yeah, like a Lion, a Shadow Shaman, even a Witch Doctor potentially, would have given them a little bit more freedom to operate here. In particular, I cannot imagine there was a lot of time spent by anybody in a Macropire. If we look at the damage real quick, you can see let's do a decently respectable amount, but nothing close to the top of the team. So to that end, the Jakiro pick, I don't really think did them much favors. Yeah, that's also something actually. This was a bad idea. This is a bad idea. 25 strength is a lot of HP.
Yeah, it
And
is.
that really helped Lifestealer out. That really kind of made Ursa start turning into that meat balloon that you really should not have been, especially in combination with the additional strength on the Black King bar. Does he have any strength traits? Oh no, look what else he did. That 350 health. That's
Yeah.
that's just a matchup, you know, that's just being conscious of a matchup. It's like I said in the lane phase, there are a few things you can do as Ursa to make I counter Lifestealer turn into Lifestealer counters me, and he did a few of them here.
Right.
Just as simple as that. So, like I said, some small mistakes that added up here. It was a very good effort, especially compared to round one. It was a really, really, really good effort. You know, to be honest with you, call me negative Nancy. I did kind of see, and when I imagined this game, it was like, okay, maybe it's going to be like, 10 to 30 this time or something. Less of a stomp. But no, they actually did
Right.
genuinely make it a competitive game. So, props to them. They pulled the nose up. If they continue to if they continue to identify these flaws with their comp and get around them, then they definitely could be a respectable team with a respectable showing this tournament. But today they just made a few too many little tactical decisions that didn't pan out. What do you think?
Right. And the Bloodseeker they didn't really have a great answer to either. I think the
Right,
Lifestealer most of all they didn't have a good answer to.
right. They got that halberd on Night Stalker logically in response to him. And early
Yeah.
on, they were really easily countering them. I think the tragedy of the matter is, had we seen 10 Agi and say, I don't know, we had seen 10 Agi and a Butterfly rather than 300 HP and a Satanic. I wonder if he would have still just kept melting in those fights like he was doing in the mid game. It's hard to say.
Who knows?
It's very hard to say. Either way, it's taking nothing away from Baby Shlark. I do think there were times where they got a little bit complacent. I do think there were times when they were just thinking, "Oh, this is going to be another stomp," and let it go to them. Especially in the early game, they were making a few really simple mistakes in the early game, especially with some of their target priority. But once they realized, okay, no, we can't just be saying, okay, we slightly changed up our comp stomp too. Once they kind of got to grips with that, they easily just not easily, but they quickly,
The Lifestealer went online.
yeah, they turned things around. They realized once again what they needed to do. They uh, they let Lifestealer go online. They let him start eating people. They started getting the priority to him, and most importantly, they stopped letting him die, or letting him even come close to dead. So, to that end, they had the right idea there. It was a very orthodox game from Baby Shlark's perspective. They just played a pretty good game in a very orthodox, straight fashion, which makes it harder to comment on, unfortunately. What do you think?
Yeah, it's true. It is very hard to comment on.
Yeah, that's about it for this game. It's summed up very very succinctly. Really, this two-game series. It's hard to say anything about it. Uh, Hopefully next time we'll see a situation where we don't have the unfortunate spot of almost having a throwaway of a game here. Would have been very interesting to see this is game one and something else is game two, but that's just how the chips fall sometimes, isn't it?
Yep, it's
If
life.
if you or
Can't
somebody
control how the games go.
if you or somebody you know would like to learn to play Dota 2 or learn to play Dota 2 on a more professional level, check out the Learn Dota 2 League at ld2l.gg. I'm Anani. This is Randy. Say goodbye, Randy.
Goodbye.
And next time, we're probably going to be doing something with Ocelot. Well, next time is going to be a different game, actually, that we've already recorded, that I wanted to put this one out first. And then after that, we're probably going to have one with Ocelot. But
Yeah.
chronologically, it's going to be a little bit different than that. See you then. Oh, and apologies for the future audio issues that are going to be in the next video, where I forget to turn on the setting that makes the audio continue playing when you tab out of the game.
Sad.